Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, The Return to Avalon. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm rolling over a bag. Hello. As I am having a wonderful day, I hope everybody's day is also going wonderfully. So we can go ahead and listen to Floating Trees by C418. Just random Minecraft music playing in the background. Oh, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So hello, how are you all doing? It is a wonderful day to be streaming. It is a wonderful day to continue our story as problems begin to arise as the war continues. The question is, how exactly are the Wanderers going to be dealing with this? And how are they going to be preparing for their trials as the party is yet again split up and scattered throughout the world? Only one way to find out. And that is going to be by jumping back into chat and talking with everybody.
150 gold, it's going to take you 5 days.
Okay. That's not bad.
So hello, everyone.
Whoa.
Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to come into chat and not have it diving down questionable routes or talking about some...
I have a homemade flashlight next to my hats.
You have to say something.
Show
Anyway.
me, is it a Pringles can, 2 sponges, and a glove?
Could we not?
Solo cups, 2 sponges, and a glove.
God almighty, you guys. Alright,
What the fuck?
so gentlemen
God.
and Jen. How are you guys doing today? Are you guys
Talk about
ready?
Singling her out.
Could be doing better, could be doing worse. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, I don't feel like I'm fucking dying, and I got a new bed, so that's fog.
Hell yeah.
Unlike Opal, who definitely feels like she fucking died.
Don't remind me.
Oh, yeah. So, let's go ahead and quickly recap what happened last week. As the Wanderers decided that it was finally time to proceed with their plans to help Hino and the Nine take out the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And since they are aware that they were being hunted, Hino sent some of her own troops into Death's domain to deal with the Horsemen of Death. Meanwhile, the Wanderers decided to take on the second lowest of the 4, the Pestilence. Deep within the raining swamps, they've managed to locate the beast and deal with some of its bullshit. Through a hard-fought battle, reinforcements from the Nine were unfortunately needed to be called as Opal was struck down and unfortunately perished in the fight.
My help.
Speaking of Opal, I think I have Angelic Aspect working now for you.
Alright, thank you very much.
I just can't get it to change the fly speed down at the bottom, so I would just leave the 30 there and keep in mind that she only has that when she has that active.
Yeah, I know. That's obvious. Alright, thank you very much. Anyway, but yes, Opal was unfortunately struck down in battle, but was luckily revived by Arabella once Hino and Eve took care of the remaining minions that Pestilence has summoned and striking down the beast themselves. Although the fight may have been won, it wasn't without scarring for everybody. As we return to where we are now, as the party is scattered throughout the entire western side of the globe.
Except for Dave.
Oh.
So, let us pick up close to where we left off. Also, cards are once again out of date, so ignore those. Let us quickly pick up where we left off, because after the fight with Pestilence, you all decided to split up for a bit to go recollect yourselves, going through the trauma of losing an ally and basically being traumatized by the sheer strength of what Pestilence was able to do. We go to Dave, to Alicia, retreated to her hometown of Vormir. We have Opal, who has returned all the way back to Algaroth. We have Grim, who also retreated to Algaroth. We have Morgan and Vitalis, who retreated to Edgegate. We have Noctis, who went down the west passage of the Underdark and is currently in the Underdark themselves. And then we have Squish, who decided to take it upon himself to go to the Wildlands.
What can I say? Wow, child.
So, Noctis,
We.
you retreated all the way back down to the Underdark. Care to explain why?
Wanted to visit my old adoptive parents, if you will, as well as see the progress on my home.
Very well. Is there anything specifically that you wanted to do with your adoptive parents, or any important errands that you wanted to run? I was thinking of the word.
Just visiting a few libraries and just pretty much doing deals, swing by the old home. So I was talking to Ishtala. That's not her name.
Okay.
What is her name?
Unfortunately,
That is her name.
Unfortunately, Ishtala was not home. Ishtala herself was not home. However, when you go to her tower, you managed to just knock on the tower to see if she was there. But unfortunately, it wasn't Ishtala that opened the door. It was Doxura, her lich of a husband.
Okay. Hi. You don't speak, do you?
And he shakes his head.
Just passing by. Is Ishtala not home?
He once again shakes his head. And he takes his old boned finger and he points upwards.
Overworld?
He shakes his head.
Died?
No, he nods his head. Sorry, not shakes his head. What the fuck? Yeah, he nods his head. Yes, that she's up on the surface.
Wonderful.
And you get a memory flashback. She's helping with the war effort.
Not helping, leading.
Yeah, leading.
These scoundrels. Well, just came by to see you. Whatever. I'll let you be on your resting time. Good day.
He gives you a slight bow.
I slightly bow back. As I'm walking away, I go, "What the fuck? That's a lich."
So after speaking with Doxura, you head on over to Athanasius
Oui.
to go check on your wizard tower and along the ways, you do see a large group of people, construction workers mostly, just working on the tower, building it into the cliffside. And you also see another group that's working on the building that Alicia decided to have constructed.
My massive steampunk tower, or not tower, factory.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
You know, you walk onto the construction site. You are, of course, greeted by the drow that is currently overseeing everything, and he talks with you and he explains to you that, you know, progress is slowing down a little bit due to a lot of materials being needed to be transported to the surface world to aid the war efforts, and with restrictions of trade and everything, with guards posted all over the place, it's been a little difficult.
Understandable. I asked if I could just at least tour the construction zone.
Of course, yes. He definitely, of course, takes you around the construction zone. They show you what they have, you know, framed up at the moment. He shows you that, you know, you're gonna have this nice pathway that the landscapers are going to deal with that goes up the mountains, and the tower that they have constructed at the moment is mostly a lounge area to start off when you first walk into the framed out structure. A nice big lounge area with a grand staircase that goes up and then splits off in two directions going up to the next level. You have a nice area to the right where he explains, you know, the masons are going to build a fireplace there and furnishing with fur couches and such, and he takes you to another door frame, goes through it, and you can see a bunch of miners digging away into the cliffside, where he explains they're going to use the cliffside as well to give you a nice dining room area and be able to cook up meals with a kitchen area. And he also begins to takes you out of that room up the staircase into what is your second floor, and you can see that there are this area is a very, very large cylindrical area, and he explains we can expand this to as high as you want it to go, but we were going to contact you once everything was constructed, and we wanted to know what you wanted more specifically to be constructed on these upper levels, like a second, third, or higher floors.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Continue.
then he was saying that once they have it set up, because he's going to have built at least 5 or 6 floors of your tower built, and then at the top he's going to build you like a small observatory, not necessarily an observatory, it's kind of like a viewing area that it's connected to a large master bedroom.
Beautiful. I just take a look around and take in the space.
For what you see, mostly of the large cylindrical empty space of the second to 5th or 6th floors, it probably would be a good place to have this area here, more specifically for extra book storage or a study area, or however you see fit to have it furnished. Of course.
Fucking books.
Of course, they're going to be. Of course, they're just contractors, so they're not going to be able to, furnish everything. But just the general idea of what he was saying.
Yeah. Wonderful. This is quite. It's coming quite along.
Is there anything else you would like to do down here?
Take one last look at the pit, see if anything's changed.
No. Nothing has changed with the pit.
Great, I'm out.
Okay. We head on back up to the surface world. So between Morgan, Vitalis, or Alicia, who would want to go first?
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me.
Doesn't matter to me.
All right, well, more specifically, I should probably ask then, is there anything of great importance that you guys want to do in these towns, or...
It's not important, but I did have something I want to do.
Dave, Brady?
Speak.
Her important thing involves me.
Okay. Then let's go ahead and start off with you guys then. In the town of Edgegate, of course, you guys notice that there is a heavy presence of guards posted throughout the city on the walls and at the entrances. Compared to what Brady remembers of Edgegate, it was sort of not well put together, considering that it was so close to New Jamoria.
Yep.
But ever since the construction of Faris, you notice that, a lot of the roads have been fixed up, some of the houses were repaired and are now capable of actually housing people and such. It's actually looking very, very nice. A lot cleaner and a lot more welcoming to people. It's almost off-putting compared to what you were used to when you were growing up here.
Morgan just looks around, shivers a little bit, and then leads Vitalis toward the edge of town.
Vitalis will just follow her.
Didn't actually describe what I wanted the house to look like to Josh.
So go ahead and describe it then.
Well, it's basically like a log cabin. Small crop area, overgrown. Looks like it hasn't been used in almost 60, 70 years.
Some ivories growing up along the old wood, and nature's slowly starting to take over the house a bit.
The entire area around the house just looks completely disheveled. Forgotten. And just off to the side of the house, you can see 2 headstones. I think you can guess where that's going.
Yeah.
Morgan leads you over toward the headstones. She just sits down between them, doesn't say anything. On the headstones, you can read Forlorn Grimlot and Ziana Saya.
Vitalis will just sort of place a hand down on her shoulder.
Just look up at you, then look back at the headstones. And after about 20 minutes, she'll get up and go inside the house.
Before Vitalis goes in, he will kneel down in front of the headstones and say a small prayer. and then follow her.
See her pull random things off of shelves. Looks like small toys from a child or just random things that a child would have or a teenager, a young adult, scattered throughout the house. It also looks like there were signs of a struggle. You see as Morgan just completely ignores all the struggle signs, goes back to one of the rooms. In this room, there is a big enough bed for 2 people to lay on. And she just sits on the floor at the foot of the bed.
Vitalis will sit down next to her.
Morgan will look at Vitalis. I think you can assume where we are.
I put the context clues together.
You're the only one in the group who doesn't know what happened to them.
You don't have to talk about it if you're not comfortable.
I've come to terms with it. They were killed. In front of me.
I'm
A very long time ago.
I'm so sorry.
Come to terms, I got the person who did it. Got my revenge. Now I'm just waiting for the last person involved in it to die. But that's taking a while.
Let's see.
He's currently imprisoned.
Josh, what time of day is it?
I would say it's almost midday.
Okay. I look around for a moment and I say, I'm going to go into town for an hour or two, if that's all right.
It's alright.
I want to do something for you.
You asking me on a date?
Maybe.
Very bold of you, Vitalis.
I just want to make you feel better.
That's going to take a lot more than a date, dear.
I was not aware of what the hell is happening right now. I just want to
It's
point that out.
a start.
Agreed.
I'll be back.
Very well.
And he will get up and leave the room. And Josh, I'm going to go into town and gather stuff for like a small picnic.
Okay. Yeah, that's fairly easy to do. At most, I'm probably going to go ahead and say that it's going to cost you maybe, I don't know, 20 silver.
Okay. I'm also going to pick up like a bouquet of flowers for Morgan.
Okay. I'm actually going to make a roll for that. Give me a second. You walk into the flower shop and, you're greeted by an elderly man behind the counter as he's, like, setting up a nice vase and putting some roses inside. And he turns to you and he goes, "Hello. What can I do for you, son?"
Hello, sir. I'm hoping to get a small bouquet of flowers for a friend of mine.
"A friend of yours? Well, I could certainly put that together for you. Any specific type of flower that you're looking for? Or rather the occasion?"
I think I'm taking her on a date. That's what she called it.
"Oh, so it's for a girl then?"
Yes, sir.
Well then, let me see what I can do for you then. Perhaps... No, not those. Most...
I'm really just trying to make her feel better. We ran into some problems lately, so she's kind of down.
Oh... I can see that. Tell me about this last then. Perhaps I could find a culmination of different flowers that I could throw together.
Well,
Is he like...
Would you like the image of Morrigan blown up so you can describe her?
As he pulls up a stool and he sits down and he rests his head on his hands on the counter.
he will describe Morgan physically, but he will go on to say, she's very strong and very forward. Unlike anyone I've ever met.
Well, you certainly have quite the special one there for you. I'll tell you what. Let me go see if I can find a couple of things in the back to give you a hand. He goes,
Yes, of course.
he picks himself up and he hobbles into the back. He's back there for close to about 5-10 minutes or so, and he comes out and in his hands he's holding a nice bouquet of flowers, very nicely wrapped with a sparkling ribbon wrapped around it. And you can see these flowers, they look like roses. However, they're multicolored as well. And he hands them to you, and you can see that but there's multiple colors that are on each of the petals of the roses. And the colors are a mixture of purples and oranges. There's tints of reds and such. However, once you get a closer look at the bouquet, you notice that there is something very, very strange, off-putting, and especially here in the center of the bouquet that's sort of displayed by the rest of the roses. And it's not natural looking either. It almost looks not even a flower itself, almost crystalline. And it shines when it's held up into the light. And it's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
I'm going to take a closer look.
Yeah, as I'm not even going to have you roll a perception roll. It's obviously commoner shop, and your passive perception is what, like a fucking 20-something?
I'm not that wise.
No, I'm the one with the passive 20-something.
Oh, right, okay. But like I was saying, you could get a closer look at this, and you can definitely see that the centered rose is a crystalline It's a crystal in the shape of a rose. And he says, that there is something that was more of a specialty by my father and his father before him. Special gems and such could be molded into different shapes and made into even things as delicate and simple as a flower. It's a very unique specialty amongst drows, and some dwarves even can do it. But this seemed to be a very special occasion. Very special occasion, as considering that this young lass kind of reminds me of somebody that helped our people down here. And it may not be who I am thinking of. I forgot we're not in the Underdark. It reminds us of our new leaders in Faris. And if I were to make a bouquet for somebody who seems as special as this, and I would put myself in the mindset of making a bouquet as if I were displaying it to somebody in the Nine or a hierarchy of Faris. And of course, with how Faris is, and always the finest for all customers and such, and I would like to display the crystal flower, crystal rose.
Thank you so much. How much for this?
I'll tell you what, I'll give that to you for a simple 5 gold pieces.
I will give him, like 8, just because I feel like I need to tip this man for helping me.
Very well, very well. And he of course takes your money, and he clutches it, and he gives you a firm bow, and he says, I hope that whoever you are displaying this to feels how much you care for them, and my best of lucks to you.
Thank you, sir. And I will run out with the bouquet and the picnic I've set up, and I will head back to Morgan.
So some time has passed, and you make your way back to the outskirts of the city, and back to the house that Morgan rests in.
I will set up like a small picnic area outside, and then I will go in without the stuff and find her.
She hasn't moved.
I'm back.
Very well.
Are you all right?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just coughing.
I'm going to go over and give her my hand. Just hold out my hand for her.
Morgan takes your hand.
This is a change of pace. I'm going to essentially lead you to the front door and then tell you to close your eyes.
Morgan will close her eyes.
And then Vitalis will lead her outside out to the small picnic that he set up. And then tell her to open her eyes.
Morgan will listen.
And do you see just this in the area in front of your house, a small blanket set up with nothing super fancy, a bit of food laid out, just basic stuff. He doesn't quite know what he's doing.
Oh God.
And the flowers sitting in the middle.
This is very nice, Vitalis.
I'm glad you like it.
I'm gonna walk over, sit down on the blanket, and look at the flowers.
And of course, you see the same bouquet that I described, different colored roses and such, but shining from, coming out from the trees and the sunlight hitting it, you see the glint of the crystal rose that's glistening and shining from the sunlight.
I'm gonna pluck that one out of the bouquet specifically.
Once you
She's
do,
gonna put it.
once you do feel that it's actually very heavy compared to an actual flower. It's close to about a pound or so, and it's made out of an actual pure crystal.
Morgan's going to take her sash, rip a part of it, and tie the crystal flower to her horn. And then continue to admire the rest of the bouquet.
Do you like everything?
I do. Very nice.
I'm glad. I couldn't think of any way to make you feel better, so I hope this helps.
Is Vitalis sitting on the blanket at this point?
Yeah.
Morgan's gonna put a finger under his chin and draw him close to her face.
He just laughs nervously.
Gonna give him a quick kiss on the cheek.
He turns bright red.
This is very nice, and I thank you very much for this.
Just nods.
And then she leans her head on your shoulder and eats.
Great goal.
All right. Moving on down to Vormir. Dave,
Hi.
what is Alicia doing in her hometown?
As Dave stretches, he thinks about what Alicia is doing currently. We're looking at magic items for the past hour. Just talking with her parents about everything that has gone on. At some point after, probably towards closer to the end of the day, she would call on the tile for the other 6, is it? Because I'm including Grim, but I don't know that she's not here.
Yeah,
One,
maybe 6 of you guys.
Or yeah, the other. Well, there's only 5 of them that I know. No, there's only 4 of them that I know have a token. Never gave one to Vitalis.
Well, Morgan has one, and you know that Vitalis is with Morgan. Opal has one, Noctis has one, and Squish has one.
Yeah. I would call the rest of them, and I'd say, hey, meet me back at my parents' place when you're ready.
How far would you say it is from Edgegate to Vormir?
Couple hundred miles.
Enough
Yeah, a
to
few hundred.
teleport.
You can, yeah,
200.
with three teleports, yeah, you can get there.
Morgan's just gonna put her hands down on the blanket, teleport the whole situation all
Well-
the way to in front of Alicia's house.
Here's the thing, though.
Cody still has
Squish
something
would-
that he needs to do.
No, Squish would ask to be picked up from a certain location because Squish has never been to your house.
Yeah,
He's
he
never
hasn't.
met your parents.
You suddenly hear Grimm's voice come over the tile and say, "How about you guys come to Algaroth?"
That changes my plans.
If you guys want to meet down in Vormir, that's fine, but I'd suggest you guys coming to Algaroth.
Squish will wait for you guys at Valgroth.
All right.
We'll also wait at Algaroth.
So, Dave, there's nothing important you want to do here?
No, not now.
Okay, fair enough. Squish,
Yes.
we're gonna go to you. This is gonna be an interesting
Okay.
thing. So you basically dimension doored yourself right into the crystalline entrance of the mountain range.
Yes. I planar traveled.
Yes. So before you stands the gaping maw of the cave. You know, of course, covered in crystals and such. It's snowing pretty heavily on top of the mountains now. And you can, out in the distance, you can hear roars of dragons and the howling winds in your ears.
Squish is going to press into the maw of the cave.
Okay. You press on through into the cave, and eventually you do make it down to the cliffside where you were with Yevez and the rest of the party that you know leads down into the giant cavern that once again you look down and you see the giant the master Delicite shard, and of course Prisma currently still sleeping and resting on the Delicite shard, her scales and her wings glowing as you can see as raw magic is being sucked from the master Delicite shard and into her. And around her you can see several larger ancient dragons and such flying around and just walking around. What do you plan on doing?
So Squish is actually going to take on the aspect of a dragon using his avatar state.
Okay, so you are going to be taking...
I'm currently a large dragon. I think I'm a gold dragon. Yeah,
Okay.
I am a golden dragon.
So you close your eyes, and you start trying to channel your magic into your transformation. You feel a pull from your magic, and you hear Saren Ray's soft voice again in your mind, and she's curious, and she goes, "Your avatar state. Why is it that you wish to use it?"
I want to commune with Prisma, and I figured this would be the best way to approach.
And you don't think that she would recognize a hero of the world? An ancient and
Absolutely.
older dragon.
But Squish does not think his voice would reach her at the moment, considering she's asleep. So, in reality, just kind of transforming into dragon to roar.
I love to think that Sarenrae is limiting his access to the dragon since his time in Paris.
Yeah, she's kind of babysitting me.
Need I remind you who you are, Squish?
I think at moment, yes.
You are the novice of the sun, bringer of light. Your draconic form is not needed.
Okay. So then how does one wake a sleeping dragon without incurring its wrath?
Surely you can gain the attention of some of the other dragons. You can speak Draconic. As long as you don't appear hostile towards them, perhaps they should be able to hear you out.
Okay, thank you for your guidance. Squish is going to take a deep breath and just shout, "Hi, I'm Squish. I wish to speak to Prisma."
That's not anywhere close to what I was hinting at!
What's up?
That was nowhere close to what I was hinting at!
He's just hollering all the top of his lungs. He is also glowing he is also glowing at the same time, by the way.
My god. Oh. Sarenrae's face palming. She's like, why do I even bother? Oh.
Sarenrae should know she has to be direct with Squish.
I was expecting you to take, oh, I'm the novice of the sun. I shall bring the light. And no, just, hi, I'm Squish. Just down into the pit.
He was also glowing while
Yeah,
doing
I do activate my luminous form, but I did say hi. I'm
okay.
Squish. I wish to speak to Prisma.
Okay. a sudden change in the atmosphere as you look down, and several of the dragons are now looking up in your general direction.
Whole initiative.
And they just see this tiny little white light jumping up and down, screaming, "Hi, I'm Squish!"
I want to speak to the dragon of dragons.
Prisma.
I want to speak to the dragon of dragons.
Prisma, I've come to bargain.
Shut up, Dominic.
Thank you.
Ironically enough, I have a Infinity Gauntlet ring that I'm wearing.
So, you suddenly feel a strong gust of wind as down below you can see that several of the dragons are lifting off and flying upwards towards the exit of the cave. And so you see all different kinds. You see silver, bronze. You even see some of some chromatic dragons as well. Blue. Some red dragons as well. And like they come up, they fly up, and you can see their faces like peer inside to the cliff, and they don't look very happy.
You woke them up.
You hear them snarl. And some of them, they're like gritting their teeth at you, and you can see in some of the metallic dragons, some of like electricity, and you can see like forms of drops of acid dripping down their teeth and such. And then suddenly, in Draconic, all of this is going to be in Draconic, by the way.
Yes.
You hear another voice call from the bottom and say, "Squish of the Squish, novice of the sun. Your presence is here not welcome in my cave. State your business, or my children will be allowed to annihilate you.
Squish. Squish has come to
Bargain.
Please say bargain.
warn. Squish has come to warn you. And to thank you.
You hear silence for a while as the dragons in front of you stand by in anticipation, waiting for orders. Several minutes go by, and then when you hear this voice again, call towards the dragons that are in front of you. They look down, and oh shit! Hold on. They look down as they are called Salazar, Charasarum, Quorium. Bring this hero to me. As three of these dragons look towards each other, and they fly up a little further, and then one of them holds out a claw that's big enough for like a small car to fit on.
Squish hops up, like struggles to hop up onto his claw.
Its claws like slowly close a little around you just to make sure that you don't fall out, and you can feel it drop from the platform and fly downwards. Oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Now towards the Master Delicate Shard, and you're held out in front, and then still laying on the Master Shard. You are now face to face with Prisma.
I do want to say this: Squish is sweating bullets.
She stares you down for a little with her bright yellow eyes, almost resembling just pure topaz. And you actually get a much closer look at her now, and you see that her entire body appears to be made out of like rocks and crystals and such, much like the crystalline dragon that was fought long time ago in the session.
Wish wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Squish wasn't there for that, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And she looks much like an older and much more ancient version of that dragon.
You killed Prisma's baby?
Basically.
Oh God.
Oops. At the time, we didn't know.
So, as you're staring face to face with this dragon now, and she goes, "Interesting to see some of our descendants. Much more or less of a kobold race. State your business, hero of Avalon. What is this warning that you speak of?"
First, allow me to thank you for your assistance in the Blood Wars.
Is that what the surface is calling them now?
Yes. I don't believe we would have stood much of a chance without your partaking in such battle.
If
You
only
gave us opportunity.
If only I was able to stand further up against that horrid beast. I sensed its presence ever since it first came onto the plane. It was strong.
Yes.
And it pains me to know that I wasn't enough. I had to call upon that red dragon, to whom's name I still not know.
Would Squish know the name of that dragon?
You would
Wish
know.
would know.
You would know Ray's name.
Okay.
You remember the dragon that helped her was Ray's, the ever-burning flame. He knows dragon.
Okay. Do you wish to know his name?
Perhaps if you have such information.
His name is Raze, the ever living flame. Is that what you said?
Burning flame.
Burning flame. Yeah.
Ray's. Commoner's name for a red dragon. Still very young, but strong.
Yes.
Your thanks is much appreciated.
As to the warning that I bring, do not know how much information you've been able to gather on what is occurring within our realm. Currently, the Wanderers have come across an item that predicts the end of the plane. We believe that this will take place from a war that will occur with a demon incursion. We devised a plan, though I don't know how successful we will be, to open a gate in Rathos, the remains of Rathos. However, this would put them in direct line with your domain here. You would be the first to feel the effects of this should we fail to stomp out this incursion. And I just wanted to warn you so that way you may protect your children if necessary.
Your warning has been taken note. How containing a demon lord incursion in the sands of Rothos. How you plan to contain them all is beyond me. However, seeing as how different beings, the Legendary Six, the Wanderers, or any other high-powered names on this realm, I tend to not underestimate mortals anymore. More specifically, of lesser races. Is it my help that you request, Squish?
To be honest, your help would be great. It would
A
be
great
wonderful.
boon.
Yeah, your help would be a great boon. I can think. But I understand that you were injured with your fight with the Blood Dragon. And if your injuries have yet to heal, I would not ask you to participate. That being said, Squish is a healer. I don't know how much I can do for your injuries, but if anything, I would offer my assistance.
My fight with Eisen II has indeed left me severely injured. The brink of death, perhaps. Unfortunately for you, My wounds cannot be healed by any sort of magical means that you know of. My wounds can only be healed by natural magic. That is the reason why I have been taking refuge here, under the protection of my children, along with draining the natural magic from the Master Delicite Shard. I will heed your warning, Novice of the Sun. However, I cannot guarantee that my children would be willing to throw themselves at demons. If they so choose, I will allow them to help you. Until then, I unfortunately will not be able to help you.
I appreciate your time, and I thank you for your generosity in this matter. If there's anything, if you ever find yourself in a time of need, not that my power is great or anything, but Squish will do what he can to assist you. All you would have to do is ask.
The great huntsmen of Vortica and Rustbury have been constantly hunting my children for sport. If what you say is true, I wish that you would contact them and ask of them to leave my children be. Our numbers are dwindling, but faster by the day. I would not wish to see my race die.
I shall speak with them. Again, thank you for your assistance.
And I would ask
It kind of-
and I would ask once again if you would keep this location a secret.
Absolutely.
Vanhu.
I must warn you that there are those that do know of this location, besides myself.
The rest of your party I know of.
Yes. There is a huntsman by the name of, I can't think of his name.
Yevez.
Yevez Glickman.
Yep. Yevez Glickman that does know of this location. However, he has already been asked to remove its location from his memory.
And recorded history.
And history. We've already taken steps to protect your domain as best as we could. Okay. But I will try to do more for your children.
She's going to lift her head up, and she's going to like crane her neck a little bit towards one of her wings. On like the edge of the wings where her crystals form scales of typical scales of dragons. And she's going to take her teeth and just pry one of them off.
It'd be painful.
It's a singular scale. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's like ripping off a fingernail.
Which is still not good, but still.
Either way,
And she
still
takes
painful.
and she leans over you and she drops the scale into the claw of the dragon that's currently holding you up. And it's a pretty big scale. Compared to you, it comes up to like your chest.
Okay. So like 2 feet tall.
About. And it weighs about 10 pounds.
Okay.
Big scale.
As charming as that sounds, perhaps this would be enough evidence for Mr. Glickman to further his push to leaving this location alone. Make up any story that you so wish. Jiang, you may take him back up to the exit. As the dragon that's holding you, like, nods its head slightly, he begins flying back up to the exit and sets you down back at the edge of the cliff. As you look down and Prisma watches you go and then very gently rests her head back onto the shard, as you can see magic once again being pulled from the shard into Prisma. And the dragon sets you down, sets the scale down as well, and then flies back down.
Thank you. Squish is going to pick up the scale and make his way towards the entrance.
All right. So what exactly do you want to do now that you have this giant scale?
Squish is going to call Glickman on the Lotus tile. I believe he has one.
Let me check my notes.
I believe he does. He is a prominent figure. He was contacted by William a few times using one.
He was
Right,
also...
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he definitely does have one. Yeah, he answers you, obviously, and he goes, Squish, what purpose do you have for me?
Are you busy at the moment?
No, I was about to head to the tavern to have a drink or two. Why?
Would you mind meeting up with me in private?
Give me a place.
How about... I'll tell you what, I'll meet you at tavern. I'm sure we can rent a room or something so we can discuss in private.
Very well.
Dimension door right at the tavern.
Right, yeah. You show up at the tavern. And actually you see Eves walking up to the tavern.
I'm just kind of standing there in front of him, is like...
With the massive scale.
Yeah, I am carrying a massive scale.
Oh. Alright, very well. I'm still not used to your magics. Goodness gracious. What do you have? What is that?
He kind of takes a cloth and throws it over it, because... Yeah, I have winter gear, so I take like my jacket or something and throw it over top of it. It's like, Prisma scale.
You see like his face like drop, like, Prismas.
Yes, that's why I need to speak with you in private.
Yeah, of course. Come, quickly.
Yes.
And he guides you into the tavern. Of course, he's greeted and such and everything, and everybody then notices you as well, and they're just like, Squish, big greetings from the huntsmen that are in the taverns and such, and Yves like waves them off and such, and he's like, get out of the way, you fucking vultures. He takes you upstairs. He yells to the barkeep that he's gonna borrow a room for a few minutes and such, and he takes you up to a room, closes it, like nudges a chair underneath it, and he turns to you and he goes, "Why on Avalon do you have that? Where did you get it? Or how did you get it?"
Well, I went and spoke with Prisma just moments ago. I warned her about the possibility of a demon incursion taking place in Rathos, and that it would potentially put her and her children in danger. She asked me to do a favor for her, and only you can assist me with this. I would like to have the huntsman stop hunting dragons.
That's a pretty tall order.
Yes.
Dragons are kind of a high accomplishment here in the Huntsman Academies. And the Huntsman groups.
I am aware, but their numbers dwindle. And she does not wish to see more of her children die. This scale is token of such agreement, if one is had.
Oh.
I understand that this is tall order. If the huntsmen require something to stop these actions, please let me know. Squish will see what he can do.
Well. I never really thought that we've been cutting dragons down as fast as we have been. The fact that even she is telling us that the numbers of dragons are dwindling in Avalon is concerning.
Yes.
Well, perhaps there is something we can do. More specifically, revolving about that scale of yours.
Oh?
Is there any specific reason for she giving you that scale? Besides being a token of her agreements for us to not hunt the dragons anymore.
Josh, was there?
She told you to make up any story you wish.
That needed.
I'm assuming that any story that you may need to make up. Perhaps, say Prisma's dead or something like that, and they stop hunting dragons because of that. Your choice, though. Your creativity.
Ah, shit, I'm not prepared for that.
You didn't let me be prepared for this one either, so bleh.
Alright. Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, Squish believes Prisma has been greatly injured due to conflict with Blood Dragon,
Eisen 2.
Eisen 2. And cannot defend her children to the best of her abilities. Even against demon incursion. So, Squish wants to protect them. Squish is descendant of dragons after all.
I understand. Well then, perhaps we should take care of this then. He picks you up and he puts you on his shoulder. And he looks at you and he goes, "Keep that cover for now. I'm gonna go
Yes.
do something fun."
Squish kind of tilts his head like, fun?
Oh yes, much fun. He takes you and he unprise the door, and he takes you back downstairs, and he stands at the landing of the tavern, bustling around, and he like stomps his foot on the ground a few times, creating a loud bang throughout the whole tavern, and everybody's attention is gathered, and he goes, "Oi, listen up! Over the last several weeks, there has been questions concerning the dragon hunts, and why that it was suddenly shut down. I finally am able to tell you. The nest containing our greatest hunt was found. However, number of the great beasts and dragons in that nest was little too much for you scampers to even bother trying. I'm here to announce that the great dragon hunts are no more. You all remember Squish, little novice of Sun. You hear like a strong mumble around the tavern. Little Squish and his party, the rest of the wanderers, took upon that challenge that I sent to them. You know, everybody starts talking amongst each other, and Yevez like gestures up to you to remove the covering.
Squish follows suit, so he removes the covering.
And then from the sunlight coming from, you know, the skylights of the tavern and such, it beams down onto the scale, and it shines brightly.
Disco ball.
And everybody just like looks at it, and they're just like, you know, they're shouting, they're talking about it, like, what the hell is going on, you know? And Yevez like stomps on the ground again to shut everybody up, and he says, "Great prismatic dragon has fallen at the hands of the wanderers. The rest of the dragons are hereby scattered. Good luck finding them from here on out, as dragons are hereby no longer a strong prize. Now that the great prismatic dragon is gone, we can finally focus on that bastard serpent in the forests." And then he holds up Squish again, and he goes, "Scale of dragon to prove by hail of wanderers." And you see everybody raise their glasses in the tavern and goes, "Hail to wanderers!" And
Squish is holding up the scale above his head.
And then everybody just starts to go back to talking and everything, and
I imagine that there's just like this stupendous confusion on Squish. Like, what the fuck?
It's like a blank smile.
yeah, and everybody
Like-
just goes back to, you know, talking and cheering and shouting and such, as Yevez takes you down to the great fireplace that rests in Vortica's main Huntsman Tavern, and he rips off like this giant beast's head that was mounted onto a wall, and he picks you up high enough to where you're able to place the scale on this mount instead of that beast. And then he takes you back down as people like flood over you and like asking you questions and such of, you know, what the hell happened? How did you guys do it? How many dragons did you kill? Yevez, of course, knowing that this is all a fucking lie, he's just gonna start pushing people away. He's just like, bugger off. Poor thing's tired. The rest of the wanderers are in Algaroth waiting for his return. Bug off.
Yeah, I would like to say that Squish is still rather dirty, and it looks like he's been in a fight because he went straight there. He didn't even-
Pestilence.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
of
directly after
pestilence.
pestilence. And you smell like shit from the swamps.
Well, fair enough.
He takes you out back of the tavern, and he sets you down, and he says, "Well, good enough for you?"
Yes. Squish was definitely not expecting that.
Ah, these meatheads will believe anything you tell them, as long as you have proof of it. Proof of a hunt.
It would seem.
A scale that large enough? Well, they'll believe that any day. Also, a natural 19 on a bluff check, but anyway. You don't need to worry about dragons no longer. Our focus is going to be on that bastard Wyram.
Squish can't thank you enough.
We'll get messenger to Raspberry. Tell them the same. Now go. You need Bath more than William did when I first met him again. Go.
Thanks again. And Squish teleports away. Or should I say, Planner shifts away.
Mm-hmm.
He is now going towards, where did we say we would meet?
Algaroth.
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 I would like to point out that Morgan and Vitalis are now sitting in Alicia's office with an entire picnic around them.
Well, it's good for you. You know where I am? Home.
Back.
Because I can't teleport.
Oh yeah, Noctis, you need to go. You need to go get Alicia.
Do I know that?
And
Yeah.
yeah, you do now. Just like,
Alright.
Noctis, taxi ride, please.
I pick up Alicia. Come here, you stupid.
Like, over here.
Okay. All right.
Biggest area without obstructing the door.
So, you guys do all of your teleport shenanigans and such, and you're all meeting together again in Ulysses' office. Morgan and Vitalis are in the middle of a picnic. Squish just dimension doors right out of the fucking wall, and
Oh god, all I'm picturing is Alucard now.
Oh my god.
I'm just sitting here in
kids,
my
you want to see a
office.
dead body?
I'm sitting in my chair at this point, starting to go over paperwork and thinking. Remind me to set up anti-magic wards in this office.
No.
So, when Squish teleported in, he was standing for about 5 seconds before he face plants. It's just laying on the ground, like.
You all right there?
That was stressful.
What was stressful?
Talks with Prisma.
Well, at least you're not charbroiled. Eaten.
Squish thought he was going to
Disintegrated.
be. For a moment, Squish was scared he might.
Hey. You're not.
Well, the important part is that you're alive. Did you get the warning?
Yes.
Good.
Everybody else do what they
Ow.
need. Where's
Are they
Opal?
coming to terms with what happened?
Where's who?
Opal.
You guys notice that Opal's not in the room with you guys.
Is my sister?
I was
No.
just about to ask the same question.
Not this. Where's your girlfriend?
I'll ask. I think to Opal.
You don't get a response back.
Oh shit, she's dead. She's dead. She's fucking dead. I'm gonna storm out of the door.
Oh.
Locate creature.
She is here in Algaroth.
All right, where?
In a tavern close by, or in an inn close by.
All right. Word. Teleport. Dimensional hop.
All of the above.
That's what the spell. That's what the spell is called. I could teleport her to me.
That requires that's a will save if I'm not mistaken.
If she's unwilling, yes.
Yeah. What's the DC for that?
It would be based off of my 3rd level spells. 22. She probably will make it.
As long as I don't roll a 1. Yep, I pass.
Maybe
Okay.
talk to her to be a lotus tile?
Well, Noctis has already stormed out of the door, so he's gone.
Well, I know where she is. I'll go get her.
Lawnmower!
Huh?
Walk outside and you
Fucking lawnmower outside my window. Damn it.
walk outside and you just hear.
And I'm just calmly walking like the opposite direction because I actually know where it is that she is.
As Alicia leaves, Morgan's just gonna pull out the lotus tile and call up Opal.
You again receive no answer. So Dave, who else is following Dave? I'm sure everybody else is following Dave.
Yeah.
I would
switch
actually
to the
say, hey, can I do this alone?
Oh.
Morgan's more interested in the little picnic she's got going on.
And Squish, go take a bath.
Okay.
Then Talus's attention is now divided between the picnic and where the fuck his sister is.
Squish is just standing in the back of the tavern. Oh no, wrong one. Dousing himself in water.
All right, so Dave.
Fucking sink or something.
Yeah. So Dave, you start walking towards this inn. It's a fairly common inn that people go to. It's it's close by to your tavern, but it's not really that much of a competition. But anyway.
Before I enter, I'm going to put on my my traveling cloak and put the hood up.
All right, very well. So you walk into this inn. It's not a tavern; it's an inn. There's a couple of people off in the corner talking amongst each other and such. The receptionist is there. Here's the bell that goes off as you enter the building. It looks up and completely doesn't even fucking acknowledge who you are and say, hello, how can I help you today?
Why, hello. I'm just passing by. I smelled a delicious smell coming from this area. Quite hungry. It's been a while since I've stopped for a bite to eat. You have an open table?
Yes, we do have a couple of open tables right over there in our dining area or such. Would you be interested in having a room as well?
Yes, please. I will need to stay for a little while before I move on. How much is it for a night?
Just a silver piece. That includes bed and breakfast, of course.
Oh, thank you. And her a gold piece. The change.
Very well, thank you.
That's a lot of silver.
And she
Got the register.
yeah, she guides you over to the dining area and such. She sits you down at a table and such, and she sort of tries to look professional as she's like rushing back towards the kitchen and such.
While I'm sitting here, I'm looking for Opal.
She is not here in the dining areas.
Okay.
Should have put down a platinum piece.
And the receptionist,
I was debating it.
the receptionist comes back out from the kitchen, and she like gives you a bow as she goes back to her position. As another person, a gentleman this time, walks up to you and he bows to you and he says, "Good afternoon. I was told that you were looking for some of our delicacies."
Yes, quite. Also, I'm going to silently cast Silent Table.
Okay.
Also, some information, if you wouldn't mind.
Perhaps if I can give you said information.
I'm looking for someone, then I think they might be here. I give him a very basic description of Opal.
Oh, yes, the Oracle. Yeah, she stopped in. Yeah, she stopped in yesterday, just suddenly, and asked for a room.
I'm going to give you something. But only if you could tell me what room it is she's staying in.
I'm technically not allowed to disclose any information about guests.
I palm a platinum piece into his hand.
He just looks down at it and he goes, he like closes his hand and he goes, "We do have a wonderful egg omelet that's only going to run you about 208.
Very well. I'll take it to go, please.
Of course, I will have our chefs working on it right now then. As
That is really. That is so fucking clever.
as he's going to like silently mouth the words "thank you" and work his way back into the kitchen. Make me a perception roll. And then you as you're standing up and going to start making your way towards room 208, you suddenly hear from the kitchen, "An omelet for table 14 and F you! I quit." This dude was in like his early 20s, and you just gave this guy a platinum piece.
He has retired.
He is done.
I love being rich sometimes.
I like to imagine this is his first day on the job. It's like, yeah.
He's been here a while. He's working off his loans.
Well, that paid off his loans.
Oh yeah, more than paid off
And
his
then
loans.
some.
You like helped his family and shit too.
I farted.
All right, Joe.
So I'm going to go up to room 208. I'm going to go invisible with using my ring, and I'm also going to cast silent. What is it? Silent sphere, or whatever it is. Sphere of silence.
I think it's like Silent Sphere or something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that one. That one, so that way I can't be heard as well.
Okay.
Are you also gonna do a dirty little jaunt so you can walk through the door without opening it?
Of course.
I don't think that's a level 3 spell.
Ethereal.
I'm not sure. I don't think it is, but that would be fucking hilarious.
I don't think it is. I will
Ethereal-
double check. Ethereal
look it
Jaunt
up
is
now.
a
Fuck
7th. No, it is a 7th level spell.
Fuck no, that's too high of a level for me. I can only do 3rd level spells. I'll be lucky when I get 4th. I use this. Anyways, yeah, so silent, invisible. And I'm just going to slowly open the door.
The door is locked.
Obfuscate.
The door is now open.
Just. And there's nothing here as this door slowly slides open.
Yep. As you enter the room,
With no noise.
with no noise, obviously. As you enter the room, you get a good look at this room. It's a average-looking inn room. However, you do notice that there is what's equivalent to like a handbag or such, and like a sack that's rest up against a nightstand. And you find Opal sleeping on the nearby bed next to the nightstand. Her staff is like, it looks like it's thrown onto the floor and such. Her armor is also like strewn throughout the room and such, and she's laying on her bed sleeping, still in her attire, on top of the covers. So what do you do?
I am going to take a... What do I have on me? I have a flask, hip flask, filled with water. I'm going to very slowly drip small drops of it onto her forehead.
She's gonna like squint a little. She's gonna like scrunch her face together a little bit, and she's gonna slowly start waking up. She's like, what is that? What is going on? She like sits up suddenly and like wipes her face off, and
When she does that, I'm going to get down behind her and into her ear, just go, "Ooh."
she's going to just whip around and like take a swing at you. Obviously, she's not going to hit your AC. No.
Not to mention the mischance.
Yeah. But she's suddenly going to like squint her eyes a little bit, and she's gonna go, Alicia?
I dispel the invisibility. Hi.
I'm sorry, I slept a little bit longer than I wanted to.
That's okay.
You see a silhouette fly past the window screaming, "She's fucking dead!"
What is it? What's going on?
Well, we were all just waiting for you back at the tavern. Tried contacting you twice. I tried teleporting you to me. Didn't work.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry I worried you guys. I just had a lot on
Didn't
my
worry
mind.
you. Well, it didn't worry me necessarily, but looks out at... I'm assuming he's probably coming back down the street again at this point.
In the both
She's
lane,
fucking dead! But Noctis seems to be making it a little harsh.
Opal starts hearing.
She's gonna use her telepathic bond and just say, Noctis, I'm not dead. I'm fine. I'm with Alicia. I just overslept.
With no response, you just see Noctis again out the window going, "It's alright, everyone. She's not dead. Not dead."
I'm also going to message you and say, just go back to the tavern. I'll be around in a minute.
You can zoom back the same street, but very slowly.
Like, now,
They seem knocked us past the window like 6 times.
the thing that is a curiosity to me normally is you don't typically stay in inns when you're here.
Hold on. Question, Dave. Are you one of
We
the?
know that her
Are
we
you?
know that
Are
her home
you?
is the chapel.
Yes, you do know that. Do you? Are you one of those freaks that have like detect magic constantly up?
Of course, Josh.
Okay. Well, your passive
I'll
perception. Your passive perception is a fucking 24. It's easily to see something is very, very wrong. As you notice that like Opal, actually, no, she can't lie. She can't lie. What's your sense motive? Your base sense motive? 20. Yeah, no, she's not gonna fucking make it. She's been lying, blatantly lying. She looks very, very off. She looks upset. Something is very, very wrong. And when you look at her, you take back in that her staff is off to the side. Her armor, her shield is like thrown onto the floor. You don't sense magic anymore.
I'm just going to look at her. I'm going to tell her, you know, you can't lie to me. I can see straight through you.
She's just like gonna let out a sigh and like sink back and lean up against the wall and such. She's like on the verge of crying. She's gonna say, I can't hear her anymore. I don't hear her. I don't feel anything.
I'm going to pull her into a hug.
She's gonna grab onto you and like she's gonna squeeze you as hard as she can, and she's gonna start like openly crying into your shoulder. And she's gonna continue like spewing different things such as, you know, what am I gonna do? I don't know where I'm gonna go. How can I help you guys anymore? She's eventually then just going to say, who am I without my magic?
My wife. Sorry.
She's going to lift her head off as like her tears are still flowing. She's like, how am I going to pass my trial?
Not all those who are heroes have magic. You do understand this, right, Opal?
I know, but
There are still other...
I'm not strong. I'm not anything.
There are still other options. There are people that have magic that weren't blessed with it from birth.
Her husband.
Like, for instance, clerics. They weren't born with an innate ability to cast magic. They're given it by the blessing and devotion to their god.
She's just gonna look down again as she's gonna start sobbing again. She's gonna manage to put together, they kicked me out again. This time it's permanent. They saw that I don't have my healing magic anymore. They already had all my things packed up. I didn't know what else to think. I wanted some time to think about what my next plan was. Most importantly, how I'm going to pass this trial without magic. Or without guidance.
Need to find someone who can provide you that guidance. As for being kicked out of the church, my family's manor is very large. I could always spare a room for you.
Kind of makes me regret cashing in that deed, huh?
Well,
Here I always thought I was going to be an oracle forever.
hindsight is 20/20. Never be able to know exactly what is to happen to us next. I suppose this has something to do with what happened in our fight with Pestilence. So I will not claim to know much about how you oracles operate.
Resurrection is supposed to be forbidden, Alicia. I shouldn't even be here. When an oracle dies, the powers of said oracle is transferred to a newborn child the moment they are brought into this world. That way the powers of the gods can be passed down whenever another oracle perishes, whether it be from battle or natural causes. Well, that's pretty much what happened here, except I have to live with knowing that I'm not getting those powers back. They're already passed on.
Well, you may not be able to get your oracle powers back, but you can still have magic, and you could still be helpful, and you could still most certainly be a hero. You'll need to become a cleric, though. And we don't have much time to get you there. We'll need someone willing to take you on if Pharasma's no longer willing.
It takes years to be trained up to be a cleric. Clerics of Pharasma are usually training for a minimum of 6 months before they even start showing signs of magic.
Oh? Then perhaps we'll need to find a way to fast track that. I think I know people that just may be able to do that. Although you may not like it.
We'll have to see. Let's not keep the others waiting. I don't want them to worry anymore.
Of course.
She's gonna get up, don her armor, collect her staff. Alright, let's go.
We walk on back down to the tavern.
By now, Noxus has indeed come back at the time, and Opal comes back in with Alicia.
I visibly see that Opal's been crying.
A little bit, yeah.
Opal, are you alright?
She like gives you a smile and nods her head. It's kind of hard to be okay with what we just dealt with, and dying never really helped.
So this begs the question: does Squish know that Opal is powerless, considering he is an oracle himself?
Does he have detect magic on when she re-enters the room?
Well, I'm saying because I'm pretty sure when training to be an oracle, they would inform him of this.
No, the oracles don't have a connection to where you're able to tell if something happened to another oracle.
No. So basically, because the fact that he is an oracle and he knows upon death that our powers are transferred on, would
Yes,
he know?
Yes, he knows that information.
Okay.
Yes, he would know that. Or Opal has died. Even though she's still breathing and living, he knows the consequences of something like that happening.
Okay. Well, he's gonna keep his mouth shut, but I just wanted to know if he would know.
Yes. Squish was informed about this when he was trained.
Yes.
Wait, so she's back?
Yes, she's
Yeah,
here.
she's in the room.
Oh, okay. I run up to her and hug her like a worried dad. Oh, Jesus. Or... Oh, Pantheon. I thought you were dead. Again.
She's gonna hug you back and say, "No, I'm okay. I just overslept. That's all."
Morgan's keeping a close eye on Opal as she walks in
just lots to
after asking the question.
just lots to think about. That's all.
I'm gonna telepathically say, stutter. Would you like to speak about it, even if it's just privately?
She's gonna telepathically say back to you, "You can see magic. You can probably tell already."
Yes. But I was just making sure that you yourself were okay.
I'm working on it. It's
I'll be by your side.
It's a lot to take in.
I'll be by your side. Full support.
She's gonna take you back over to the couch and just like lean her head on your shoulder.
As you look over, Morgan's doing the same thing to Vitalis.
One of these looks way more comfy than the other.
So what now?
Well, I was going to ask all of you that when we got back, when and if you guys went back to my house. Seeing as how Grim wanted us to come here, and she's currently not here.
Yeah, does anyone know where she's at?
Also, we did it again.
What did we do again?
Something bad happened. And we all ran to the four corners of the world.
Oh,
We do tend to do that a lot, don't we?
It is safe to say that we all have different coping mechanisms.
Do we?
It's agreeable for some of us. It's a little more healthy than others.
And I say, I like sightseeing.
Unfortunately for me, alcohol doesn't really do much anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the last time you tried to drown yourself in it. We had a little chat.
Squish hates to interrupt, but there's something I need to tell you all, since we're all here now. If anybody asks, we killed Prisma.
I'm sorry, what?
Pardon?
What?
Yes.
What?
A little elaboration, please.
Allow Squish. Yeah. So, Prisma asked me to defend her children. Essentially, she wanted the huntsman to stop hunting what remains of her kin. In order to do so, she gave me one of her scales, and I went to speak with Glickman. I explained to him the situation, and he decided the best course of action was to paint us as the ones that took her down. Of course, she's fine, but according to the world, we have now killed Prisma.
It
And
amazes me that William is his son.
yes,
Agreed. He is
so
significantly smarter than William.
I think the best course of action is if anybody asks you how we did it or how many we've basically any information about it, we keep to ourselves. But this is best case scenario because Glickman had claimed that there is no point to fighting the dragons now, that Prisma is gone, and they should be leaving her kin alone now, at least for the most part. They have switched their focus to the Y room instead.
That's good.
Worm.
Well, it's certainly going to be a much harder task. Well, at least that'll keep their heads out of the clouds for a bit.
Again, I do apologize. I didn't get to talk with you guys before this occurred, so it kind of just happened.
No, it's okay. Yves thinks
He's got a good head on his
Rationally.
shoulders.
He's a rational thinker.
He has
Yes,
a good
he's
head
a-
on his shoulders.
Shoulders, knees, and toes.
Wonder who threw the apple for William.
I would assume it would probably be his mother.
Oh god. Horrible, Dave.
Damn.
Damn.
Suddenly,
mother on the house.
suddenly your door is like kicked wide open as Grim comes sauntering in. She's like, "So, heroes of the world, how we doing?"
She
Just
walks
slowly
in,
close.
sees Morgan leaning on her brother.
That door is supposed to open the other direction. As I slowly close it.
Yeah, you guys can
As
see the
I
line.
just slowly close it with magic and mend the locks back.
There's a line that actually shows it opens that way.
Mhm.
That's why I chose to ignore it.
Also, unfortunately, not anymore. Vitalis is at her side.
So,
Sorry, Morgan.
He kind of gets up and runs over.
Well, I suppose it took you long enough. You had enough time for us to have a whole heart-to-heart and diss William at the same time.
well, good to know that Alamorn's getting better and better at manipulating the gates.
What did you do?
I just went to go pay the narrator a visit again. That's all.
You say that as if it's an average thing that happens every day.
Well, it is.
I mean, for her, it probably is.
Well, it
How's
is.
For
God
her,
doing?
that may be, but for the rest of us,
Grim.
Oh, come on. You guys should be used to it by now.
Grim.
I'm used to a lot of things, but
To answer your
casually
Well-
to answer your question, Noctis, he's doing fine.
Ah, praise be God.
At any rate, just as long as you don't. Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. If you get that man into any more trouble, I don't give a shit.
Well, it was kind of easy considering that he buckled pretty quickly.
I mean, considering what happened at the world meeting, and you being you,
Wait, Grim, did you threaten him? Oh yeah, I did.
Lovely.
my point stands.
I figured that was kind of implied.
Well, anyways, how'd your chat with the narrator go?
Well, pretty good. He was quite baffled. It's probably the first time in a very long time that I've seen him baffled.
Oh,
Well, he is God.
Oh, what baffled?
what could
According-
what could possibly baffle that man?
Well, how am I gonna sugarcoat this a little bit?
You don't need to sugarcoat it.
All right, cool.
Don't.
All right, cool. In that case, then all of you were supposed to die in that fight.
Just like alcohol, burns on the way down.
Morgan just nods.
Yeah, I kind of suspected that. However, everything was supposed to go awry when Opal goes down, and then suddenly, one by one, each member of the Wanderers goes down, and oh no, the Wanderers aren't here when the incursion shows up. Where are they? And then the whole world goes to hell.
And
Literally.
I assume we kind of threw a monkey wrench in that when the 9 was involved.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're all here. We're all here. It's all good. And there's a new book in the library, and I was not allowed to read it since I'm still here.
Well, he is a smart man. Wouldn't want you giving us any spoilers.
Yeah. So, cool. So how do y'all feel?
Slowly coming to terms with a few things.
Same.
I don't think reminiscing would quite be the right word. Recollecting life choices.
Concerned. His eyes dart towards Opal when he says that. But
I'm
otherwise,
assuming the high perceptive people see that.
Almost immediately.
Mainly me and Dave
And Grim.
and Grim.
I'll knock this.
everybody sees it. Okay, he's not really hiding the fact that he did it.
Also, you're in my direct line of sight.
I'm standing in the middle of the room, guys.
You also have big giant lizard eyes.
Yeah, they're yellow and flashy.
Also,
Like
your
me.
your head's literally shaped like an arrow to where you're
Yeah.
pointing your face.
Yeah, you don't really have a pretty big range of eye movement.
You're like a shitty GPS from old video games.
Noticing that all eyes are on her now, Opal is gonna bow her head a little bit and
Just rubbing my temples. Do you want to tell them, or do you want me?
I don't have magic anymore.
Morgan is now next to Opal, hugging her. Get on the chair. Thank you.
How
Not
is
saying
that
anything, just hugging her.
possible?
When the gods were reincarnated, they decided that using the oracles as vessels of their powers to communicate with the mortal plane. Oracles were born with the gift of their powers granted to them by the gods when they were born. When oracles die, whether it be from battle or natural causes, the powers of the oracles are transferred to a newborn child the moment the previous oracle perishes. Resurrection is supposed to be forbidden on this plane. My powers have already transferred on to the next person, but yet I still walk the plane.
Which I'm sure is absolutely pissing Xiphus off. I'm sure he is absolutely thrilled that we resurrected another person.
Well, it also probably doesn't help the fact that since I'm no longer the Oracle of Life, the Church of Pharasma has excommunicated me to never return.
Sorry, but isn't it commonplace for people to attend a church even if they have no power?
Squish also finds this odd that you were excommunicated.
It's a little different for her situation, because technically speaking, well,
The only reason why the church didn't kick me out was because they thought it would piss off Pharasma.
that
And since I'm considered a commoner now, they didn't see a reason for me to be around any longer.
Don't have a home.
It's one thing to remove you from the temple, but another to excommunicate you from the religion.
keep in mind, Squish, that technically speaking, she is a living anathema to her religion, being someone who was resurrected.
Morgan's going to whisper into Opal's ear. I have a house in Edgegate. If you wish to have it, you can.
I'm not worried about not having a home. All of us have more than enough money to just simply buy a new house. I just don't know where I belong anymore.
With us.
Yes. For once,
going
the
to
idiot is
say-
right.
I'm going to say the same thing with us. Remember the motto: once a wanderer, always a wanderer.
Regardless
Doesn't
of
matter what you do.
abilities.
I just feel like I'm more of a weight on everyone's shoulders now. I'm not going to be able to heal you all anymore. I don't even know.
Well,
I don't even know how I'm going to pass my trial now.
Well, seeing as how we are now all together, and also have a tome of infinite knowledge, near infinite knowledge. I'm looking directly at Grim. Perhaps we could find a way to quickly turn you into a cleric.
As much as I wanna help, and as much as I see that how this whole system with oracles and the trials and such is utter garbage.
Oh, it really is.
As much as I want to help, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about it. Clerics are gifted their magical abilities by their devotion to their gods. It could take months or years of training in order to even show signs of magic. However, it is strictly up to the gods' perception if they are willing to grant said person magical capabilities. I could imagine that it's possible that you could become a cleric, but unfortunately it's going to take far longer than simply just being born with the powers.
So,
I think
Here's-
I have an idea. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Squish.
yes.
I have an idea that may or may not work, and we may or may not like it. But maybe the 9 can help.
Specifically, Arabella.
Imagine
Before
that
we
they have significant experience in quickly and rapidly training people, given the size of their numbers and the number of very skilled craftsmen that they have. Even their commoners are almost as good as me.
Before we go that far, Opal still has knowledge of her power. In other words, she still knows how to be an oracle. What if we could restore her oracle powers? Her powers still remain on plane. It's just now within a child born somewhere on this plane. Perhaps there's a way we could transfer the powers from one to another.
Are you planning on
Morgan's
killing the
going to
child?
look at a Grim. Is that a feasible possibility, Grim?
We didn't have...
Squish,
Go ahead, Noctis.
I was just gonna Squish, are you planning on murdering a child?
If that is required, then no.
Pussy.
We didn't have oracles on this plane when the Six were dealing with the issues of the Council and the Twin Gods. Oracles came afterwards.
Then maybe I should commune with Sarah and Ray on this. See if it is possible.
I also have a possibility. If you wanted to, I could also help you. We could always give you an oath. You could become a paladin.
Not really all that strong.
You don't necessarily need to be.
I could train you the way of the sword, and you are flexible. I don't use strength when swinging my blade.
I also don't use strength.
I could also give you some tutoring in my particular craft.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
what
that
Opal's trying to say, guys, is that she could go to everybody for help to be, in her eyes, useful again. It's just that she knows that it's too late. There's not enough time. And Opal nods her head.
Just know that we are willing to help in whatever way we can.
Although,
Let's think.
although, I don't think that should stop you.
Who's saying this?
Grim. I don't think that should stop you from taking your trial.
You would have her do the trial powerless?
I've been with you all for long enough to understand who you all are. I've analyzed you all, your powers and morals and such. And to be completely honest, most of you are already qualified, in my eyes at least, to be heroes.
You say most. Who is the least?
I raise my hand. What? I won't deny it. I have very little qualities when it comes to being a hero.
You have been making
If
improvements,
anything,
however.
I should be a villainous.
You have been making improvements, however. Some small nicks and discrepancies in between all of you, but most of you, you do have what it takes. Especially now. Seeing as that you're all willing to look after each other. Especially when one of your own is not in the correct state of mind. We are running out of time.
And what should we do?
We go meet with the other oracles.
We have to be able to gain access to Equium first.
Well, fortunately for us all, I already called on Onaji to set up a meeting with all of the oracles up in Equium.
Then
We'll
we're
be hearing back from her soon.
Then we shouldn't even be waiting. This is Grim talking now. I would contact Onaji, tell her to pull her head out of her ass and figure out if they're ready or not. Or call a sense of urgency.
Do that. I don't really want to be in her hair. Let's just say that.
I'd rather not conscript the ire of her.
Squish picks up the tile. Inaji.
You hear Onaji's voice come over the tile and say, "Yes, Squish."
Hi. I was told to ask if your head is out of ass. And how is the meetings going with other oracles?
You basically hear Alicia cackling in the background.
I'll... Okay then. I haven't received word from them yet if they're ready for you at all.
At this point, it doesn't matter if ready or not. We need this. It's time.
I'm going to pipe up over the tile. We're gonna be in and around the first page Grand Library within the next 2 days. Ready or not, we're gonna be coming. We don't really have the time to wait for them, for their pomp and circumstance. The war has already begun.
I will pass on the message then.
Thank you much.
And the tile's gonna go silent for a while.
Squish J good?
You did wonderfully, Squish.
Grim pats you on the
Squish.
Grim pats you on the head. I think you did wonderful.
Squish, you have to be one of the most blunt people I know. Or just blissfully ignorant.
Or both.
Or both.
Okay.
After a short while, another voice comes over your tiles, and it's May's voice. Hey,
Hi, May. What's up?
are you guys out of your fucking minds?
Depends on who you ask.
What the hell was that just then?
What are you talking about?
I was standing right next to Onaji when I heard Squish to ask her if she had her head pulled out of her ass.
Oh, you could thank Grim for that.
What? Okay, never mind. That answers all my questions then. Yeah. Onaji's not very happy about that. Just to inform you guys. Honestly, I could care less.
Squish is
Given
kind
Given
of
the current, given the current circumstance, it is true. There tend to be a lot of people's heads in their asses. Especially politics.
Oh my god, don't even get me started with that.
The facts of the matter is I requested that Onaji speak with the oracles a few days ago to make sure that they were ready for us to begin taking our ascension trials when we were done with pestilence. We are now done with pestilence, and we have no time to waste. I don't care what it takes to get them all in Equium and to get us an invitation there. I just need it to be done.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you guys. Honestly, I'm surprised you guys didn't take your trial sooner. Like, as soon as you got back, actually. But
Unfortunately, we had some minor inconveniences that we had to go deal with.
oh gods, what happened?
Morgan's just gonna look at Opal. Do you wish to say?
I don't think it would be a good idea, especially with May.
Very well.
Nothing that needs to concern you. Just some minor family matters.
Give me a bluff roll.
And this is a quiet phone call.
I asked
He
for
asked for
I
a
asked
bluff.
for a bluff roll.
Oh. I didn't hear you at all.
Oh, okay.
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I need a bluff roll. 38. Damn. Okay.
I put a lot into. I actually wanted Alicia to be surprisingly wanted her to be a diplomat, so I put a lot into like bluff and diplomacy. But my temper gets the better of me.
Yeah, that's fine. I also don't have all of her. Give me a second.
You're good. Take your time.
If it doesn't concern me, that's fine. You don't have to lie about it. But, fine. It's fine. I have to go talk to Al anyway and discuss something with Hino.
Alrighty.
Just be careful around Onaji, okay?
I don't plan on being anywhere near her if I can help it.
It's probably for the best. Just... Can I ask you all something?
Go ahead.
Sure.
You guys have my back, right? If I need you. I may not have been the best when it comes to a leader or a hero as that. I haven't done anything to severely upset you all, have I?
By no means.
Does this have anything to do with the fact of what came up during the meeting between your family and Onaji's?
I just want to make sure that my hands are clean.
You have done nothing personally to upset any of us. If you needed us, we would back you up. Personally, at this point in time, I feel the squabble between your two families is kind of pointless and meaningless. I'd rather stay out of it if at all possible.
I understand. I just wanted to make sure that at least somebody is still on our side. Or at least you guys still have your heads on straight.
As I put it back then, to the ire of many, and her people are here now. And there's nothing we can do to change that. And I have seen firsthand that there's nothing that we can do to change that, even if we wanted to. Honestly, I think at this point, Kratronos should drop it.
Alright. Good luck then.
Best of luck to you too.
The tiles is gonna go silent.
Did Squish do something wrong?
You kind of insulted a queen, my dear.
Well, she's a little more than a queen, but yeah, you pissed off a pretty high figure.
And?
Well, put it this way. I've known her... How long were we gone? 80 years?
Something along those lines.
About 80 years or so. And, I've never seen her angry. Not once. That's a first.
Squish spoke truth.
Sometimes,
All I could say.
sometimes the truth hurts. You just have to take it and accept it. And of course, even when some people are told the truth about themselves, they don't take it lightly.
Some of us completely overanalyze their entire being after being told how they are.
If she is upset about such thing, her head is up ass.
Was it? No, it's just
The
outside.
way that, just the way that you say that as Squish makes me laugh.
I didn't hear what he said.
Watch the VOD.
I will.
Personally, if I had to say anything about it, if we don't hear anything from the oracles in the next few days, or no, within the next 2 days, I'm breaking into Equium myself.
That sounds exciting. I
It
don't know.
does, Squish.
I don't know if an oracle should be excited about breaking into Equium, but
You're an oracle. Don't you just have a free pass there whenever the hell you want?
Squish kind of looks at you dumbfounded, like, do I?
You're an oracle. It's where the oracles hang out.
Technically?
No, actually, I don't. Because Opal wasn't allowed to enter there.
You also came directly from there.
Yeah, I
You were-
was living in Equium.
Yeah.
Actually, we did have permission to go there whenever we wanted to. I just never chose to.
Question on that subject is whether or not we'd be able to go with him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, no, I'm not an oracle or a strong political figure, as Grim says, walking around and sitting into the chair. Oh, no, I'm not allowed to go up there. Yeah, well, your wards are child's play to me.
Let alone the fact that as of this standing moment in time, the 7 of us standing here are the actual heroes of this world and its best chance at surviving. They kind of... It would be in their best interest to play nicely with us.
Now Squish feels like his head's up his ass. Maybe I should be more proactive and go see about gathering the oracles myself.
What do you think, Grim?
She's just gonna sit. She's just gonna sit there, hook their hands up, and just think for a second. You know what, Alicia? She's gonna like slam onto your desk and stand up and go, "You're right. You're right. Pack your things. We're going now."
You heard the little lady? We're going now. Get ready.
Need to do one thing before we go. As Morgan walks out the door to... Fuck, I forget her first name.
The bar lady.
Alice?
Alice?
Alice. That was the name. And just hand her 100 platinum. For the bar.
She's gonna look at you dumbfounded, like, what am I supposed to do with all of this?
Invest.
Inventory. Upgrades. It's up to you.
That's okay. You should have seen the face on the waiter. I paid a platinum to tell me where Opal was.
You do realize how much money this is to commoners like us?
Morgan just pulls out her bag, looks at all the platinum. I'm well aware.
I'll see what I can do.
Very well. She goes back into the office.
That's now the second time that we have given her more money than she has ever seen in her entire lifetime. This also makes like the 4th person that we've completely bought their or the 4th time we've paid for someone's entire life.
Yeah.
As Morgan's walking back in. I'm ready now.
All right. Those of you who can fly, get ready to fly. Because we are going to get stopped by the wards, and we are going to be floating in the sky for a while.
I can fall.
Someone want to carry Squish?
I hold on to Opal. I also pick up Squish.
Opal's
click my heels together.
Opal's already holding on to Noctis.
Okay. I'll pick up
Morgan
Squish
just instinctively grabs Vitalis.
Anyone doesn't have the means of flying or simply does not wish to, I can carry you. I have the means of being a huge dragon now.
All right.
Vitalis can feel Morgan trembling, by the way.
Grim is going to reach out and summon her staff, and she's going to slam it down in front of her. Grab on.
All right.
Okay.
Morgan has a death grip on Vitalis.
Vitalis will just hold on to Morgan rather tightly.
You guys feel a pull of the teleportation. And immediately it's like you guys are hitting a brick wall. Running at full speed.
That's a familiar feeling.
As you guys come out of the teleportation, you guys are now above the ocean, overseeing the city of Equium. And those of you who do not have fly active right now, you are now falling.
I transform into a huge ancient sky dragon.
I click
Who
my
doesn't-
heels together and begin to fly.
Oh, okay.
And I'll let Opal ride on my back.
I activate my armor.
Morgan is holding on to Vitalis for dear life.
All I can think of is ride me.
I'm not a goddamn Yoshi. So Grim takes her staff, and she points it forward. Several different rings of arcane ribbons appear, frantically scrolling through runes and a language of runes of a language that you guys don't know. And you can hear her start muttering to herself. She's casting several disenchantments and counter spells and such. Until finally, you guys see like a flickering a little bit. And you could now, with this flickering, you can see that there is a dome-like shield that surrounds all of Equium. And Grim's gonna look back and you can see, like, in her eyes are also, like, now bright blue. And she goes, well, I'm only gonna be able to open this shield for about 10 seconds, so I hope you guys are ready.
I'm fast. Hold on,
Whenever
Opal.
you are.
So she's going.
I cast haste.
She's going to send up her ribbons a bit, grab her staff out of the air. The ribbons are then going to shoot out beams of light into a centered location. As the shield is now like glimmering in a light, she's going to take her staff and twirl it above her head, and then just slam it down onto the shield, causing it to break open and crack as a hole opens up, and she just moves out of the way and yells for you guys to go.
I move in with a perfect speed of 250 feet per second.
Opal
I
is
zoom in.
Opal is holding on for dear life.
I zoom in as well.
Same.
I imagine Squish is buried in your chest like an astronaut buried into its seat.
Probably.
Then Grim flies in and then shuts the disintegrates her arcane ribbons and teleports to Vitalis and goes back into her. Actually, no, she just teleports onto the back of Noctis, and you guys fly straight towards the grand theater where all of the meetings were held. And Grim points down into the theater, and she telepathically tells you guys the oracles are already there. and you guys land in the center of the courtyard of the Grand Cathedral. Opal and Grim jump off of Noctis as she looks at him and says, "You should probably turn back."
Oh yes. I don't even disengage the spell. I just shift back to human. Which dragons can do that 3 times a day.
Yes, they can.
Morgan is still clinging to Vitalis like a koala.
Well,
You guys are gonna begin walking forward, and Grim's gonna look behind you guys and say, "You guys should probably look presentable because this is gonna be really cool."
and by cool
to
you
get
mean
changed.
incredibly dangerous.
Oh no, really cool.
Is anybody
okay.
here able to change my clothes with magic?
Disguise.
Morgan just pulls out a fancy dress.
Oh no! Don't do
I
that.
want to
Keep your
wear
armor
that.
on. Keep your armor on.
I don't wear armor.
Well, she's gonna turn back around and go, "Just look like you usually do in battle." And she's gonna open up the doors to the cathedral and start walking you guys to the double set of doors that lead into the meeting area.
Wait, I want to point out.
Come on.
I just realized, as a Sky Dragon Ancient, I do have a frightful presence of 300 feet.
Even better. So we just walk in and this entire area just gets bathed in an aura of fear.
Yeah.
And Squish is glowing.
Morgan's fists are twice their size.
Like we're going into we're supposed to look like we're going into battle. So
No, not actually like you're going into battle. Gods.
Grim needs to watch it rooting.
be specific with words.
As you guys walk up to the double doors and say, "So, you ready?"
No,
Morgan
not at
stands in
all.
front of the door.
I am terrified as to what it is you're going to do, but continue.
Can I kick the door?
Be my
Oh,
guest.
has Morgan actually let go of Vitalis now?
Yes.
Be my guest.
Morgan is going to kick the doors open.
All right, give me a strength roll. 22. The doors just burst open in a loud clang. And you guys walked in. You guys slowly walk in with Grim leading the front, and as you enter the area, you see all of the oracles are just there, like looking at you, like what the fuck is happening right now. As Grim looks up at everybody and says, "Oracles of Avalon, hope you're ready to give us our trial, because your heroes have arrived." And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Oh.
By the way, Josh, I hope you guys have to be ready to roll a fucking save for everyone at a DC of 28.
Yep. So we are going to pick up next week, where I am going to confirm the trial of heroes will begin next week.
Oh yeah.
I need a hero. I'm holding up over here.
So, chat, I hope you guys are ready. We're going to be going over some things regarding each of the characters and their choices of heroes. Then, by then, it will begin the penultimate chapters of the Demon Incursion. I hope you all are ready, because it's going to be a good one, and it's going to be a long one. Stay tuned next week.
Another arc reaching its climax.
Actually, the rest of the campaign reaching a climax.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys are ready. Same time next week, 6:30 Eastern, right here on my page. And I'll see you guys next time.
I need a hero.